Do you want to hear about the time some lady gave an owl rabies? Disclaimer before y'all start, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. So once upon a time, there was this lady, and her name was Patricia, and she was studying rabies in spotted skunks. And somehow she and her buddies came across this, owl that had ended up, I don't know, with an injured wing. And she was like, hey, do you want to know what would be cool? What if I fed this owl a rabid skunk? Her science buddies / fellow researchers were like, okay. And so her girl Patty was like, unfortunately, I do not have a rabid skunk at the moment, but let me go make one. I'll be right back. And then she came back a few weeks later with this rabid skunk and was like, all right, let's feed it to the owl. And then the researchers also injected some skunk brain into some mice so that they could act as canaries in the rabies coal mine. So by the time the mice died, it was clear that if the owl was going to contract rabies, it would have rabies by now. And the owl was getting kind of cranky, so she was like, time for the owl to go. And then once the owl left the mortal coil, the researchers tested it for rabies. And guess what? Surprise, it had rabies. Kind of. You see, while there was rabies all up in that owl, the owl's body was actually producing this insane amount of natural rabies protectants known as humoral antibodies. And while not a lot of studies on rabies in birds has been done because people think it's kind of stupid, it turns out that birds of prey produce way more of these humoral antibodies than other bird species. The reason being that as predators and scavengers, they're coming into contact with a lot more rabid species than any other bird might. I personally believe that we need to do more studies on rabies in birds of prey because I think it'll lead us down the path to finding a cure. What do you guys think?